Joe, the three-point percentage this season might not be necessarily where you want it to be, but 41.2% tonight. You guys shot over 40% in 3 of the 4 quarters. You've been happy with the process. Like, does a night like this kind of validate that process that you've been happy with throughout the season?
I mean, we made shots. I think that would validate the result, is the 41%. Even, I thought we've been getting really good looks and playing good offense, just not seeing the result. And so I think the process has been there. Tonight you kind of saw the result of that, but, we got to keep that up every night. And you just got to, be able to continue to execute to find good looks.
Welcome in, everyone. It's Hold My Banner here on Nesson Nation. Good to be with you. We're going to show it. We're going to show the tweet. I knew it. I knew we didn't show the tweet because they knew I was going to mock it. It's different here. There it is. Home games, Ountae Campbell, Adam Kaufman. Apparently, it's reserved for the home games. There's no place like home. Hashtag different here. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Hey, Ountae, I'm just curious. What's the Celtics record now?
6-7.
What's that now?
6-7.
6-7. Okay, come on. Give it 6-7. Yeah, there it is. Even Tobe over there. He said 6-7. Yeah. C's, they got a nice break in front of them, obviously, before hosting the Clippers coming up on Sunday. A team that has lost 6 in a row. So maybe 6 becomes 7, and the Celtics get another win. We'll have time to preview that. Not to mention, it's followed by a home-and-home with the 1-10 Nets. Could the Celtics put together a little win streak right here, like the Patriots sitting at 7 or the Bruins sitting at 7? Could be 8 tonight for both those teams, by the way. But it's good to have you here with us. It's good to be able to, first, I got to give the, we're not worthy to you, man, because you, on our last show on Tuesday.
Uh-oh, what did I do?
Nailed it. You were Onstadamus or whatever we would say. First, you didn't go with me after the Joel Embiid breaking news that he was going to be out, that the Celtics were going to roll in that game against the Sixers. Narrow loss, unfortunately. And then you said they don't need to just beat the Grizzlies. They need to embarrass the Grizzlies, need to absolutely throttle this team. Well, guess what? Boston never trails, wins every quarter. I know there was no John Morant, but wins every quarter. Memphis, this team is just not clicking.
No.
Losses in 7 of 8, but who cares? You play the games that are on your schedule, and you need to respond accordingly, because I think we know the Celtics haven't exactly been clicking of late, and they win 131-95. An absolute curb stomping of Memphis at the Garden. You were there. We can look at some footage that you shot, taking in some pregame there. I mean, what was since we're looking at pregame here, what was the attitude going into the game, the air in the building of what was about to happen? Did you feel like we were about to see a roughly 40-point win?
It felt like that. When I was watching Memphis warm up mostly just because I wanted to see, kind of what those guys were looking like, kind of see what, what was Vince Williams going to do? What was John Conchar going to do if he got in the game? You know what I mean? What was Santi Aldama going to do? And, they looked pretty disinterested in playing basketball at all. And then on the other end, you had intensity. And it was actually kind of funny that you asked me that, because I was watching Santi Aldama walk in and get ready to warm up. And on the other side, you saw Tillman kind of getting in the defensive stance and working on his defense in warm-ups, which most teams don't come in and do. They're working on their shot and maybe a little passing, dribbling, whatever. Definitely all offense. Most teams that come in the building aren't working on defense at all. And Santi Aldama looks over to the other side and he's like, is he working on defense? And then his trainers are like, is he working on? They were kind of almost scared, looking at how other guys look to the other side, and they're like, oh, I don't want to play those guys tonight. It felt like that coming into this game. So I wasn't shocked at all, especially like you said, without seeing John Morant out there. Not that he's adding much value to this team right now.
Not these days, no.
But, they just looked like a team that was ready to lose all night, and that's what they showed.
Well, and it's nice to see a game where the Celtics look ready to win, obviously, and perform the way that they did throughout this thing. And it was, as you would expect in a game that produces as many points and as big a lead as it did, this was a true empty the bench kind of game for Joe Mazzulla. The only one dude, poor Xavier Tillman. He's the only guy that didn't play in this thing.
He was setting the tone in the warm-ups, but didn't get in the game.
13 guys were out there for the Celtics over the course of this game. Yeah. Nobody played more than 30 minutes. You know, that was Payton Pritchard, who obviously can handle it. Pro-Am Pritchard, go out there and still play 48, doesn't matter. But for the most part, Jaylen Brown, Derrick White, you name it, it was practically a load management night. It was a built-in rest night heading into this long break where, again, you have 3 full days off, before you come back and you get yourselves ready to play the Clippers coming up and without having to travel any of that stuff. And it starts with, I guess, there are a couple of guys. I actually want to start with Derrick White.
Okay.
20 points, 6 of 11 shooting, so the field goal attempt rate was obviously way down from what it is in a typical game. In usual White fashion, fills out the box score, right? You had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, a block, plus 22. Dude only plays 20 minutes.
Right.
But the reason I start with him is because he started the party. Of that 20 points, he had his first 5 shots, had 10 points in the first quarter. It was just a tone-setting performance out of the shoot for Derrick White, who does slowly, Ountae, look like he's maybe finding his shot.
Yeah, slowly he definitely is finding his shot. It just looks like he's just worried about the things that makes him good. Like, we were all worried about, like, increased production and shooting and facilitating, and like Derrick White has gone back to just being like, I'm the stock guy. Like, I come in and I get steals, I come in and I get blocks at the guard position, I come in and I rebound, I do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that, and now that he's doing all of that, the shot is now starting to fall because he's getting more comfortable with just being himself instead of trying to be something that he's not. So real proud that you actually started with Derrick White, and also proud of Derrick White of just, continuing to find a way to be productive on the basketball court in any iteration of the Boston Celtics.
Now, how about Pritchard? I mentioned he played 30 minutes, but listen to these numbers in his 30 minutes.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I know Danny Ainge back when he was here used to say that plus-minus stat was a really overrated stat, not necessarily indicative of what a guy really did out there. And he's talking about a larger sample, a season, that kind of thing. In one singular game, I think it can tell a story. And Payton Pritchard was a plus 42 in 30 minutes in this game, had 24 points, 5 of 10 from 3. So this is another guy who shot starting to round into form just a little bit from distance. 9 assists, 5 rebounds. This is, you can't expect this, obviously, night to night from Payton Pritchard. I don't expect him to average 24 points, something like that. But my feeling going into this year was, like you were talking up, could Jaylen Brown, we'll get to him, could Jaylen Brown be an MVP candidate? Could he be first team All-NBA? Could he lead the NBA in scoring? All of these different things.
Yeah.
I saw it differently. I saw it as a balanced offensive attack without Jason Tatum. Meaning, does Jaylen Brown average, 24, 25, but Payton Pritchard, Derrick White, Anthony Simons, and again, another dude we'll get to, could these guys all average in the vicinity of, 17 to 20 points, that kind of thing? So Pritchard, again, with 24 going a little bit over that number, but there are ebbs and flows, obviously. But this is, to some degree, what I want to see from him every night. And I don't mean plus 42, 24 points, but he's going to take 9, 10 threes, hit 4 or 5 of those. Obviously continue to facilitate. 9 assists is a bit of an outlier, I guess, but, give me 6. That kind of thing. Like, I think last night was a really good representation of the ways that even against a good team, Payton Pritchard can help you.
Yeah, I think he's getting more comfortable with the fact that he needs to be more of a catch-and-shoot shooter. Like, the off-the-dribble stuff, coming off the ball screen, I think even Joe is giving him less, ball screen opportunities because it's just really not his game. Like, he's kind of an ISO. If I get one on the step back, I can pull up and shoot a 3. But more than that, he's a catch-and-shoot guy first, you know what I'm saying? And then he's just really leaning into the fact of, like, okay, when I catch this ball, now you have to close out hard to me, and I'm getting into the mid-range, and I'm one of the most efficient guards in the league in the mid-range, and you don't want to deal with those problems. So I know you don't want to deal with those problems. You know you don't want to deal with those problems. So you're now backing off just a little bit, so now I have to be aggressive on the catch. So now he's thinking, shot. All right, I don't have it. let me get to the mid-range, and then he's doing the facilitating role. At the beginning of the season, it was like facilitate. Now he's back to, okay, I'm Payton Pritchard. I got to put the ball in the hole first, and then I'll worry about everybody else. And I'm still going to be a good teammate. I'm still going to make the extra pass when I know I don't have it and, quick swing, whatever. But he's getting back to exactly, this is what these guys are doing. I said it for Derrick White. I said it for Payton Pritchard. They're getting back to who they are, and then they're just doing it just a little bit more. That's all you could ask for.
A lot of things that went well for the Celtics in this game, obviously individuals, but in terms of the team, you look at 21 of 51 from three. So again, the three-point volume of 50 plus, that was there again. But you make 21, you shoot 41%, 51% overall for the game. Rebounding, just destroyed them on the glass.
Yeah.
58-41, 48-38 the advantage, points in the paint, 14-5. Fast break points, 34-12, second chance points. In every important measure, the Celtics really took it to the Grizzlies last night in a lot of ways that honestly they should have. But they should have done it against, the Utah Jazz. And that's a game that, as a double-digit favorite, they lost outright. So I just say that to illustrate the fact it doesn't always go according to plan.
Right.
This was an instance where it went according to plan and then some. And I think a guy who is becoming an increasing part of the plan, Luka Garza, who last night goes for 14 points on 6 of 8 shooting. Nimi, by the way, was 13 on 6 of 6. So just these big men in general hitting their close to the bucket baskets there. But for Garza, the 14 points, 7 rebounds, 5 of those on the offensive glass, only played 17 minutes. Let's hear from him.
You had a game-high 5 offensive rebounds. How do you feel like your effort on the glass exemplifies what you bring to the court and the way that you play?
I think, offensive rebound is all about effort. I think it's just crashing enough, putting yourself in good positions enough. And, I think there's certain games that, it doesn't bounce your way or it makes it hard. And then there's certain games where you're, kind of in there. But, for me, I think it's the same thing as, we kind of talked about earlier with the process of getting good shots. I think it's the same thing with offensive rebound for me is the process of crashing and putting myself in the right spot every single time. And then eventually they'll come your way and I try to grab as many of them as I can, when I'm on the floor. But, that's something I've always had kind of a knack for. And I think that goes along with the playing hard is just kind of trying to put yourself in that position every time.
It was maybe a little bit of a slow start to the year, and it's a young year, but a little bit of a slow start for Luka Garza, where there were a lot of people that were sitting around going, is this the right guy? Should it have been Charles Bassey? How does he fit? All of these. I mean, we've had some of these conversations. Yeah. Of late, again, the whole be a star within your role thing. I don't want to make this, some people in the YouTube comments were responding to this off our last show. I don't want to make this a Garza versus Keita thing because honestly, both guys can be incredibly helpful
Together.
To you in different ways. Together, exactly. That's the word. What did you see from both of these guys, starting with Garza, especially on the offensive glass?
I mean, you talk about the glass, and the offensive glass is exactly where it starts. 7 rebounds, 5 of which were on the offensive glass. And it was part of him helping this team get into that shooting rhythm that, they got into last night. He had a kick out to Payton Pritchard. They ended up in a catch and shoot 3, something that I was just talking about. Garza is out there just doing the dirty work, doing the things that you need to see from a glue guy, right? You want to see a guy go in there and get offensive rebounds. You want to see a guy go in there and make a shot. He shot a corner 3 and made 1 last night, you know what I mean? You want to see him go in there and get an offensive rebound and put it back up. You want to see him get an offensive rebound and kick it out. You want to see him set a good screen. You want to see him dive on the floor. You want to see all of those things. He's been doing all of those things from on a high level. Now, when you talk about Keita, I mean, he's been exactly what everyone has told us that he was going to be, this double-double machine. Night in, night out, he's flirting with it, or he's getting the double-double because he's going out there and aggressively rebounding out of his area. He's blocking shots when you need him to. He's at the rim, finishing with lobs, finishing on short rolls and making passes, finishing on a deep roll and catching the ball deep and dunking it on whoever's down there. He's been aggressive. He's been talking on the defensive end. He's starting to feel like not a young guy and starting to feel like a veteran, which is exactly what you wanted to see out of him. So applause to both of them.
Anything that you'd like to see from the two of these guys? Because I don't want to sit here and pretend all's right in the world. These guys are perfect. There's nothing they're doing. They're at their ceiling. There's always
they
more
might
to
be
do.
At their ceiling.
Well, do you think they are?
I mean, I think we've maxed out what we're gonna get out of both of them. I think last night is the monstrous game for both. I mean, not for Keita, but more for Garza for sure. I don't know if we're gonna get better than 17.
Well, so
7.
if you want to tell me we're at the ceiling for Garza, I would tend to agree with you.
I
feel like there's still more to go for Queta.
Not much, to be honest, from my perspective. Like, I feel like he is what he is. Like, I think the next steps would be, right, he needs to shoot it out to 15 consistently. You know what I mean? Like, next would be he needs to slide his feet and be able to switch 1 through 5. Like, I don't think he's ever going to be that kind of big. I just don't see, you know what I mean, him being low enough in the stance and, like, being able to have the athleticism to really do that laterally, you know what I mean, night in, night out. You might get a possession, you know what I mean, where it's like, oh, that was great. But, like, where we're comfortable, like, switching 1 through 5, like, I never see him being Al Horford in that situation, right, where you know, all right, Al, for 20 years of his career basically was the guy that was, hey, slide. So, you know, I think he can get a little bit better in those areas, right? Like, we might be able to see him once a night step out to 15 and hit that shot or whatever, but I don't think it's going to be one of those things where we're relying on those things from Queta.
How much of it do you think is matchup dependent? Again, you went up against a overall soft Grizzlies team, certainly not, you know, with its best players. And I don't even mean
Jock Landale's out there being soft.
Right. Like,
you know
I don't even mean like you're missing John Morant, but there's no, like, Zach Edey.
Right.
Like, you know, what's his impact on the glass, obviously?
What's the kid, Brandon, the kid that always gets hurt, the like undersized 6'8".
Oh, yeah, it's slipping my mind.
Brandon Clark.
Thank you.
There we go.
Clark with an E. Off of what we saw, you know, the night before against Philadelphia, where they didn't have Joel Embiid, but, you know, like Andre Drummond took it to you.
Yeah.
Like the dinosaur of today's, you know, NBA that is Andre Drummond.
Yeah.
So how much of what we saw in this game against the Grizzlies, like I want to do the whole, can we build off of this? What does it mean going forward? But how much of that is really just, it's matchup specific? And this was an exploitable matchup against Memphis, that against Philadelphia, where there's some real legitimate size on the other side. That's still showcasing the flaws.
Yeah, I mean, 100% matchup dependent. I'm not going to get over that's why I'm saying, that's why I think this is the ceiling, because I don't see it, you know what I mean, as a thing, like, as a building block, because I don't respect the Memphis Grizzlies in their iteration that they are putting out there right now, you know? We saw it. We saw Jaylen Brown admit that he got lazy and gave up an offensive rebound to a guy as feisty as Kelly Oubre. You know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes will get punked when there are guys that are out there trying to punk them. We saw Kyle Filipkowski do it. We saw Nurkic do it. You know what I mean? We've seen Andre Drummond. We've seen these dudes that we talk about like as nobodies, honestly, at this point in their careers or whatever, in the NBA, go out and punk this team. We saw it in preseason with the Cavs team that came out here, and Larry Nance and Thomas Bryant punked this team. Like, you know what I'm saying? These are the guys we're talking about. We're not talking about Jokic coming in here and punking them. We're talking about the second and third and fourth bigs coming out and doing that. So, you know, and sometimes small forwards like Kelly Oubre or whatever doing it. So, you know, it was a product of more who Memphis is, and the fact that, like, the energy and effort is going to be there for these bigs every single night. But when the talent and the guys who actually have the physical capabilities to go get rebounds on a consistent basis actually come in and do it, they will do it somewhat easily.
See, it's just, we got to break and look ahead, obviously, to this Clippers game, and energy and effort. Dude, we haven't even mentioned yet Jordan Walsh. We'll talk about him on the other side. But the funny thing, like, just us sitting here, like, there are some days you will come in here amped up, just screaming. That's off of a win. It's off of a loss. It's like, I could tell when you're really feeling something, like when you have been hit emotionally. Coming off of these two games, and in particular, a nearly 40-point win against the Grizzlies last night, it doesn't seem to have inspired you.
Nah, not at all. I mean, it doesn't. It's the Grizzlies. I saw it from warm-ups. I saw it from watching them play. Like, I saw it from them playing the Knicks the night before, and, like, I've been a part of those teams. Like, honestly, when you have a guy who is your leader and, like, supposed to be the franchise and all this other stuff, and he's beefing with your head coach, so your two pillars are, you know what I mean, going at it with each other every single night.
Like mom and dad are fighting again.
Right. Like, it's hard to, you know, play inspired. It's hard to care. It's hard to, like, what matters? And if you're the Memphis Grizzlies, like, unless you're playing for a contract or something like that, like, you're like, man, like, y'all got to figure that out. And once y'all figure that out, like, we'll come and play. So, you know, for the Memphis Grizzlies, I think they're on a 6-game losing streak or something like that, just like the team that we're about to talk about, also on a 6-game losing streak, who've lost some players and all this other stuff and don't have health and don't have direction and all this other stuff. Like, when you're in that kind of situation, it's like, it's just hard to, like, want to, like, play hard and play basketball.
Sure.
So, like, I can't really measure that after seeing the Celtics be up in that game against the 76ers and once again go into a situation where you're like, all right, show us how you want to close. Jaylen Brown, you want the ball? All right, we give you the ball and you give it up because you get doubled. And Derrick White makes a mistake. We gave it to the 76ers the last time they were here, and Payton Pritchard gets up 2 good looks, and we don't make, the late game execution stuff is still there with this Boston Celtics team. Like, can they show me that they can finally close a game? Can they show me that they can put it together in the fourth quarter and actually have a good fourth quarter against a good team and go out there and win? Or are we going to sit here and complain about how we didn't get this and we didn't get that and we didn't do this and we didn't do that and we need to do, there's only so much of that. Remember the Boston Red Sox earlier this year when they weren't hitting the ball and the offense wasn't working and they were losing those games late and they were losing by 1 every night, and you have to hear guys coming to Rob Refsnyder, we just have to do it. I'm tired of saying it. That's kind of how I am with the Boston Celtics right now. Prove it, against a team that's worthy of proving it to. Great, you went out and beat a team that you, Travis Thomas, Casey, Joe Murray, we can go out there and beat that Memphis Grizzlies team right now. They don't want to play basketball. So, I can't really judge that too much. And I know I wasted a lot of time right there, but, you just ask for my opinion.
Maybe beat him in horse. I don't know about doing it on the court. All right, let's step aside. And when we come back, talk about, honestly, what should be another win for the Celtics. Honestly, should be 3 more wins for the Boston Celtics. We should be talking next time we're doing a show about a team that's up over 500. When we return, Clippers, losers of 6 in a row, coming into the Garden this weekend. We'll discuss. Nest Nation, we're back here. Hold my banner and looking ahead. What's up for the Boston Celtics? Well, off a throttling of the Memphis Grizzlies that it just did not impress Ountae in any way, shape, or form. They've got another game that might very well be easy as well, and that is the LA Clippers coming to town. I will say, Ountae, though, one difference, and you look at some news there, Shams Charania, LA Clippers guard Bradley Beal, fracture in his hip, season-ending surgery. So this dude, 6 games into his Clippers career, is done. As I feel for Beal. We'll get there in a second.
Yeah.
This is a situation like the Grizzlies. I don't know a lot of people that thought Memphis was going to be good going into the year. When we built, we had our season preview show, and you, me, Travis, we all gave you our top 8 in each conference. I don't think any of us had Memphis in there.
Yeah, I don't think so.
If we did, they were at the very bottom. But I don't think we even mentioned the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
The Clippers were a team that people were reasonably high on going into the year, at least a playoff team in the Western Conference. And this team, again, 6 straight losses. Obviously, really slow start. Kawhi Leonard's been in and out of the lineup. James Harden, little inconsistent. Beal, who was supposed to be that third, of the 3-headed monster. Now he's done after 6 pretty disappointing games at that.
Very.
So, did the Celtics roll in this one?
Yeah, I think they do roll. And it's a product of this. I was listening to DeMarcus Cousins, talk the other day, and you can take whatever DeMarcus Cousins.
I love listening to Boogie.
But, he is a former NBA player. He has been around these guys. He was a, former All-Star. He does have knowledge of this league and everything like that. And he was just talking about playing for Tyronn Lue. There was nights where they would have a dud, a game that they should have won or could have won, and they didn't do it, right? And you would expect some fire and passion out of your head coach from time to time in those situations. And, Tyronn would come in and he would be like, all right, man, see y'all tomorrow. And that's it. And sometimes, that kind of professionalism and is needed. It is just respected. All right, we know what we did. Let's watch that one, move on to the next one, 100%. But if that's your disdain or, your mug every single time that you go out there and you lose a game or you're not playing the way that you want to, it's just not a good MO. Like sometimes like you need the coach. Like I've had the coach before who's the nice guy, blah blah blah, and then he comes in and he drops the F-bomb and you ain't this and you ain't, and it's like, whoa, okay, hold on, like, you know what I mean? You got that reality check, like man in the mirror type of Michael Jackson moment, you know what I'm saying? And then at other times, you know, you just need a coach that is going to be the guy that's like, all right, man, like we didn't do this. They need some of that fire, like that reignited, especially when you have James Harden out there by himself as he always is. You know, Kawhi's hurt. Bradley Beal's supposed to be the new guy hurt. Chris Paul is already checked out because he knows this is the last year, you know, of his career. So you have a lot of guys in there who have already done whatever they think they're going to do in their career. Not a lot of young energy. Not a lot of situations where they're like, all right, we'll bounce back. They don't have a lot of bounce back left in them. So this should be a game where the Celtics once again come out, let this team know, hey, y'all are dead, and then get on with the get on. The one thing that I will say is they played the Denver Nuggets last night, and in that game, they went out and dominated in the first half, actually. Like, I mean, Jokic got his numbers, but they finished the first half up against a great Denver Nuggets team. Yep. And then, you know, they trailed off and lost because that's what the Clippers do. So if you can get ahead, it should be easy for you to finish the game.
I don't know what Kawhi's status is going to be, obviously. Again, this dude's been in and out, you know, and Harden, to your point, like, Paul's at the end of the line. Harden can only do so much by himself. He's certainly not a spring chicken anyway. But Beal, just to touch on him for a moment, then we'll kind of circle back to this game. And I do want to get to Jordan Walsh. And we haven't even really talked about Jaylen Brown. There are a lot of different things we can still explore here on the show. But I feel bad for Beal. Like, if Jason Tatum is out there, like, Beal, they're you know, St. Louis boys, all that stuff.
Right,
like, if Tatum's out there, he's watching this show right now, I feel bad for your guy, man. I mean, going back, Ountae, to the 1920 season, this is the games played log now, and this is after back-to-back 82s. 57, 60, 40, 50, 53. Last year, 38. Or no, 38 off the bench. Last year, 53. First year that he started coming off the bench. Yep. And then this year, 6, and he's done, obviously. And this is an outlier, I realize, but I'm sure it still would have been 55 or something like that. Like, it just feels like he's done. He's 32, so he's not. Is it like Kemba Walker-like almost? You know, in the sense that he's not an old guy, but it feels like now injuries are creeping up, and it's just like clearly his best years are behind him. But I don't even believe there are good years still in front of him. Doesn't mean he's going to retire tomorrow. But I don't think we're getting the Bradley Beal bounce back. Do you?
No, I think it's wraps. You know, I love what Bradley Beal did as a Washington Wizard. Like, I respect him from his Florida days and like his ability to score and like all that other stuff. But like the best thing about Bradley Beal was like he was an athletic scorer. Like, he was like fast, he was twitchy. You know what I mean? He would get off screens, and like now after all these injuries, like he feels a little slower. His jump shot doesn't feel like it has as much like to the basket, you know what I mean? Like, he just feels like when you watch Klay, like he's just lost a step, and like that's affecting his game, you know? So it does feel like he's kind of done. Like, I feel like the league is kind of done with the antics, at least away from how it seems from our end, you know what I mean? Like the disdain that he has for the teams that he's been on and like all this other stuff. So like, you know, these owners are friends, and these GMs are friends, and like they talk and they have conversations, and like, you know, you can kind of get blacklisted out of this league really easily. So it's kind of sad to see, but I do think we are done with the Bradley Beal, experiment, at least looking at him as like a real player, you know, on the team. Like, you might be a vet and you get a vet minimum and you come in and you talk, but like, I don't know if we're going to actually get to really see him play basketball, you know, in the future. What I do want to say about this game, though, the one thing that does worry me for the Celtics going up against the Clippers this weekend.
Zubats,
yeah. And just seeing like how they respond against playing against another lowly team in the Dallas Mavericks, who also lost a game to the Suns the other night, or last night, I believe, and just also don't look like they want to play basketball, like how we were talking about with the Memphis Grizzlies. So like, if they can get a win there in Dallas, that might make them feel a little bit better, and then like Zubac, just having to deal with him night in, night out, not only night in, night out, but just, Sunday night, and then also, Brooke, just being Brooke and being a vet and understanding what it takes to go and win a game and maybe trying to do something to spark. So he can go in there and get some rebounds as well. Like, this could be a dangerous situation on that offensive glass for the Boston Celtics.
Well, and I just think this is one of those where, it feels lazy, right? But you go back to the Joe Mazzulla, like, defense is effort, defense is energy, rebounding, same story. And so, like, Zubac, you can just pencil in, especially against this lineup, 11, 12 rebounds.
Right.
But what do the Celtics need to do to make it 11 or 12 and not make it 19 or 20? You know what I mean? Like, because that's entirely possible against this front court. So how do you prevent that from happening?
Use your fouls. Be physical. I mean, I remember when I was going on that rant, like a couple weeks ago, it was like, I want to see somebody foul out. Like, Kata's going to have to go meet him with a forearm in his chest at the free throw line when that shot goes up. Like, that's kind of how it goes. Like, Kata, you got some rest. You got 3 days off, whatever. Like, yeah, this is a situation where you use that rest and go foul somebody. Like, within the confines of the game.
Yeah, don't play dirty.
Right.
Just make life difficult.
Make life difficult just a little bit. That's all.
All right, what about Jordan Walsh? I keep teasing him. Let's talk about him for a moment here, because this is another. We did show after show celebrating Josh Minott, right? And now Joe, I don't know if Minott is in any way, shape, or form in Joe's doghouse, because Joe had that weird kind of answer after the game against the Sixers where, like, he barely played, and what was up with that? That's between Josh and I, all that.
Right.
So I don't know. That's left, I guess, for us to infer if nobody's going to talk about it.
Right.
But you see him, he played last night, but he played in part because everyone played other than Tillman. It was garbage minutes.
He got some real minutes at first.
He did, but I guess my question is this me going all clickbaity? Josh Minott's in the doghouse, Joe's got a problem with Minott, or is the reality he's just still very much experimenting?
Oh, yeah.
And so Jordan Walsh is now going to get his starts and his reps, and we got to see if we have something in Shireman and, different position, but Garza's going to see his minutes and all these different, Boucher might get an opportunity, all these different guys, like, it just, like, Walsh has been kind of a revelation, right? It's all of a sudden, dude, I don't know that he's a bona fide NBA starter, but he's looking like a rotational player.
Yeah.
A guy that can give you the defense, the energy, the effort, the spark, the whatever. I don't know, honestly, if it even translates as well to the starting five as it does coming off the bench, but all a long-winded way of asking you, do you think that's what Joe's doing? Is it just like, all right, let's see who's part of this next iteration of the championship Boston Celtics?
I think that's part of it, but I think Joe's just trying to find ways to win games. And nobody's Tony Allen. Like, nobody's the guy who's going out there 82 games and, like, putting their hard hat on. I'm getting on the floor. You're not scoring on me. I'm willing to fight you for this basketball, blah, blah, blah. Like, no one has that battery pack just yet. So you talk about Jordan Walsh, you talking about Josh Minott. Like, none of these dudes have played 82 games in the season.
Sure.
So because of that, you saw Minott for 2 weeks, energy, effort, blah, 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 and then it ticked down a little bit. All right, so let's go get somebody who's fresh in there. You know what I mean? It's like a hockey sub. Like, all right, let's go get a fresh guy in there. All right, let's go get a fresh guy in there. But it's really just with starting. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, we had the Sam Hauser days where he was starting for a game, a couple of games here, and he gave you the energy and effort for a little bit. All right, that's gone. Now let's give it to Josh. All right, that's gone. All right, let's give it to Jordan. That'll probably run out at some point too. You know what I mean? Because he's young and he's trying to figure out how to play consistently like that, play hard like that every single night. So they're going to just keep rotating those guys in and out, and you'll probably see Minott back in the starting lineup at some point. You'll probably see Sam Hauser back in the starting lineup at one point. You'll probably see Baylor maybe even going there at some point, maybe.
Some point.
You never know. Like, you honestly, if you told me at the beginning of the season that Jordan Walsh would start a basketball game that wasn't like a rest situation, I would be like, you're lying. And then we're here. You know what I'm saying? So anything is possible, and I think Joe's just trying to find guys who are going to give the energy.
I just pulled it up, and Derrick White, Payton Pritchard, Jaylen Brown, Nimi Queta, the only guys who have started all 13 games this year. After that, Joe's just been playing with that other piece.
Right.
9 for Josh Minott, 2 for Sam Hauser, 1 for each Jordan Walsh and Ugo Gonzalez.
There you go. That's exactly what it's going to be.
What's it going to be against the Clippers? We're going to find out, but we're not going to find out today. We're going to step aside. We've told you, I don't know how many times on this show, not that you don't know, Al Horford's not here, Luke Kornet's not here, Jrue Holiday's not here, Kristaps Porzingis isn't here. Well, they're all elsewhere. It's not like anybody retired, Al, not yet. They're all somewhere else, and they're all doing things for their teams. We're going to do a little check-in on former Celtics and see how they're looking with their new teams when we return on Hold My Banner. All summer long on Hold My Banner, and Ountae knows this, he was doing all these shows. It was Holiday's gone, Horford's gone, Porzingis is gone, Kornet's gone, the second apron, blah, 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 blah. Well, obviously these guys, they've continued on, and all four right now, albeit in different places, are with teams that, as we sit here, only, again, ballparking at 12, 13, 14 games into the year, they are all on teams that are either playoff or play-in teams as things go right now. Figured it's a good opportunity to look back on, well, not so much their time as Celtics, but what they have had going on in their times with their new teams. Let's start with Jrue Holiday, who is averaging 17 points, 8.5 assists, 5.5 rebounds in 11 games this year as a Portland Trailblazer. Granted, in a more prominent role than he had with the Celtics, where he was, clearly a sixth man type of option. I don't know how you felt at the time. We weren't doing these shows together at that point. I celebrated that trade. Yeah. I loved the Anthony Simons addition. Mm-hmm. I also loved moving off of Holiday. I felt like this contract is going to age badly. It's already kind of starting to age badly. Holiday was not great last year, right. Over the course of the entire season. Had his moments in the playoffs, but I don't know. You're not just paying a guy for his playoff performance. Maybe you are at this age, but you'd prefer not to. And obviously the Celtics preferred not to. Yeah. What he has done as, a consistent presence for this Blazers team, an overachieving Blazers team that sits right here in the West at 6-5 right now, in 8th place in that crowded conference at the moment. And as a leader, obviously, in the locker room, there's no Damian Lillard. He's out for the season, all that stuff. Yep. I mean, do you think we'd be seeing anything similar if he got this kind of opportunity if he were still in Boston?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the reason that I, don't think we would see it here in Boston is because I think the newness of the situation, like of Portland saying twice, like, dude, we want you here. You know what I mean? Like, we want you to be a part of the Portland Trail Blazers organization, and him going there and just having that just rejuvenation of newness and celebration. And, oh my God, we've never had a champion as great as you in the last couple of years, and da-da-da-da-da. Like, all of that is helping him out and pushing him through. And then also the fact that for whatever reason, he could just not stay healthy as a Boston Celtic. Like, right. I don't know if it was, the water, the dirty water. I don't know if it's the, the training staff, whatever. I don't know what it is, but he couldn't, like the mallet finger thing took him out. Like you said, he wasn't playing well. And it really was because he couldn't shoot the basketball. Like, I remember coming to the game that he came back and watching Jrue Holiday dribble the basketball. Like, the ball wasn't even coming back up to his hand the right way. Like, right. So shooting the basketball wasn't even in the perception of what he could do. So, I just don't think it would have been possible for him to put out that same production here in Boston, especially playing with, more talent here, having a Derrick White who's established his role here, having a Jaylen Brown who's established his role here, even Payton Pritchard established his role here. Like, he wouldn't have been asked to take over this playmaking role. He would have just been the cagey veteran to, like, hey, make shots, play defense, do this and that. So it's good that he's there and that he's doing that. I feel like maybe, you might even consider that the Boston Celtics, they won a championship, but maybe they mishandled how they could have used him, especially in year two of him being here in Boston. So, yeah.
All right, let's talk about Al Horford. There were many questions in the offseason. Is he going to retire? Is he going to come back? Is he going to go elsewhere? Lands with Golden State, obviously. You see the numbers on your screen. He's averaging 6 points, 4.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists in 8 games this year. Hasn't played a ton. This Warriors team is sitting at 7-6, 9th in the conference. Honestly, about where I figured they were going to be, or somewhere in that range anyway. It's, he got off to an early shooting slump. He's started to kind of find his footing a little bit. But the Warriors signed him, Ountae, to, be what he would have been if Jason Tatum were healthy in Boston.
Right.
You know, to be that, you know, maybe he starts occasionally, but generally he's your championship vet, your experience, your leader on the court and in the room, extension to your coaching staff, all of these different things,
Right.
who can contribute a little bit offensively as well. I mean, do you see him being helpful enough to actually aid Curry, Butler, all these guys in taking this Warriors team somewhere, or is he just a dude?
No, I think right now, like, they're not worried about regular season when it comes to Al Horford. Like, it's something that you want to see him do in the playoffs. What I will say is, like, they're looking for opportunities right now for their team to respond because they don't want to be 7-6. Like, yeah, we see them as a playoff team, but like 7-6 to them is underachieving. So, like, can Al do the things that he needs to do to help this team win? And what has he been doing over the last 2 games or whatever? Knocking down shots. The issue that I'm having with Al is, like, the lateral quickness is left, you know, like him switching on the people has been a nightmare, and that's why it's been hard for the Golden State Warriors to, you know, find minutes for him because the defense hasn't been as great for him as it's been over the past, even in the regular season games for the Boston Celtics. But that was when you had multiple bigs. This team doesn't have multiple bigs, so that's where I think it'll get a little worrisome. He needs to not play games right now. Like, he needs to be taking nights off, playing 2 games a week, blah, 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 saving it up for the playoffs. I don't know if the Warriors have enough in that tough West to give him that leeway, but, you know, we'll see.
Luke Kornet. Spurs are sitting at 8-3, third in the Western Conference. Obviously, much of that is Wemby. It's not Kornet, but Kornet, who has been, not as available as they would like so far. Only 4 games.
Yeah.
11.6 rebounds, 3 assists per, though. He's obviously been impactful when he has been out there. Fans love him. No surprise. You know, I'm sure you've seen it on social media. He and Wemby, they've got the French vanilla nickname, for these 2 dudes. So it's fun. It's been cool to watch. I think the Spurs, getting a guy who obviously can positively impact not only them on the floor in a bit role, but their culture. I guess the question, really, not that we expected him back in Boston. You knew he was going to get the bag going somewhere else. Yeah. But how much are the Celtics missing him right now with the front court that they have?
Not much, just because of the health, the ankle issue, you know what I mean? Like, that would be kind of concerning for this Boston Celtics team, for a team that I keep telling you has to play hard and play physical and all this other stuff. Like, Wemby, you know what I mean, kind of sets the tone. When you go into playing the Spurs, like, people are scared to go to the rim, they're jacking shots. So when he comes out the game, they might already be kind of, thinking about, maybe I shouldn't take this shot to the basket. Maybe I should, shoot this floater or whatever. So that kind of saves him in an instance. And then even watching them play last night against a Warriors team that, once again, isn't the most physical rebounding team, like a team that also has struggled with their defensive rebounding and stuff like that. He got 0 rebounds. So, those are the things. Like, I wish he was here as a depth piece, and like, he is shooting like 79% from the field right now or something crazy like that. But like, as we said, like, the bigs have been kind of good at the rim for the Boston Celtics because they're getting nice, easy looks thanks to Jaylen Brown, thanks to Derrick White, thanks to Payton Pritchard. So, I'm not really worried about him from that standpoint, and for the price point, it wouldn't have been that great.
We wrap with Kristaps Porzingis, who we could go on and on and on and on about. 17 points, about 6 rebounds, 4 assists in 9 games this year. So, look, with Kristaps Porzingis, when the playoffs roll around, because Atlanta will be a playoff team, and right now it's sitting at 7-5, 5th in the East. Hawks acquired him in what was a salary dump for the Celtics in hopes of, helping to get them over the hump, not just have a productive regular season, obviously. Yeah. To which I would say, one, okay, and I'm not being this, like, whatever mean-spirited Celtics fan who's looking back on last year, but truly, like, this is this guy's career.
Yeah.
Let me know if he's available come the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest thing. Let's see if he's actually out there. So that's one. The other, and you noted this in our pre-show notes, and I think it's a great observation, and something that has been consistent throughout Porzingis' career, and even at points in Boston, the Hawks are actually a better team when he's not on the floor. Say what you will about Porzingis and some of those moments and how he did in the finals against Dallas and these surges that the guy is capable of going on. Generally speaking, because of some defensive inefficiencies or what have you, teams are better in terms of the metrics, offensive, defensive rating, net rating. Teams are better when Porzingis is actually on the bench.
Yeah, I love KP, but this lineup here in Boston kind of hid some of those flaws that he has. Like, you'll be in a situation where you need a bucket and he'll shoot it from 35. You know what I mean? Like, and it'll go right off the backboard. Like, he'll be in a situation where you need to get a stop and he just stands straight up and down and gets lazy on you for a possession because he's tired. You know what I mean? And then he's never healthy. And then, like, the rebounding thing has always been kind of a thing with him. Like, is he an elite rebounder at 7'3"? He's not, you know? So when those things come into question, it's like, all right, man, like, what are you? You know, like, you're kind of just a 7-foot guard. And, you know, Dallas had those issues, was why they traded him to Washington. Washington, he was amazing, which is why he ended up landing up here in Boston. Boston, it was good when he was available, but there were the nights where it was like, all right, KP, like, be a little tougher, dog. And, like, now, you know, the Hawks are dealing with the same thing. Like, I'm not sitting here saying that I don't wish we had KP here because he could add a lot to this team. But, you know, when you're talking about energy and effort every night for this team and physicality, like, he wouldn't help out in those areas.
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing is I'm just not sure your record at 6-7 is all that much different if you have Porzingis.
I agree. I mean, there's nothing else that needs to be said about that. I agree.
All right. Well, you know what we do here on Hold My Banner. We like to save these last segments of the show for a little game time. And a favorite, Wick It or Kick It, is on the way, plus our League Pass games when we come back. Ountae, what time is it?
Wick it or kick it! Let's get it rolling. We got to talk about a guy that we just went up against. Shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies for this photo. Jaren Jackson Jr. What do you think of this outfit that he wore actually against the Knicks? He didn't wear this one against us.
Oh, boy. That is... No, that's a kick it. It's just way too baggy. There's way too much fabric there for one man to carry.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing. I don't even care about does he have like the top button or two buttoned and then the rest undone? I don't care about the style. It's more so like there's a lot there. He looks like he is wearing about 3 outfits all at the same time.
Yeah.
You remember that old I don't know if you watched Friends back in the day.
Of course.
There was an old one where like Joey's wearing like whoever it was, I think it was Joey, was put on like all of Chandler's clothes, like that one, you know, like he's put on the whole closet.
Yeah.
That's what that looks like to me. So how many different things are we wearing at one time?
Yeah, he looks like he's wearing the outfit for one of those people, like those cartoons that you watch, and there's like 3 people kids stacked up on top of each other, and it's really because he's so
little rascals
really
standing on top of each other's shoulders.
Exactly. It is really because he's so tall. You know what I also got too? Like, you know how your kids watch Spider-Man, the Miles Morales one. You know what I mean? Back to the Spider-Verse, whatever. It looks like he's like a Spider-Man variant for whatever reason. Like, that's what comes to mind when I see this. But yeah, I'm going kick it. This one isn't great. But all right, we'll switch it over to another J name. John Collins, the guy we play this weekend on Sunday. Shout out to the LA Clippers for this fit. What do you think of this one?
All right, let's blow this up. Let's get a better look at this for everybody. It's another kick it for me, man. I mean,
what don't you like about this one?
I don't know. It looks like he's showing up at the Y to play a game. Like this is full on rec outfit.
Yeah.
Like, are these real clothes? Is this a real outfit? It looks like he's literally just like he just got a sweat on, just got a pump on in the gym, and now he's ready to play.
Yeah, I don't know. He looks like. You know, I don't want to even say what I think he looks like, to be honest with you. But, like, him with that do-rag on, man, like, he looks like he just, like, I'm just going to say kick it. I don't want to get in trouble, dog. I'm just go ahead and say kick it.
I'd be the last one to, like, offer do-rag fashion. But I see the do-rag. Like, there are obviously a lot of people that have, I guess, kind of popularized the do-rag. But I go back to all those album covers with Tupac, right? Like, Tupac was a do-rag guy. Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know how many people can take themselves seriously looking in the mirror going, yeah, like, I'm going to put this do-rag on.
If you've ever seen the movie Dope, He looks like one of the bad guys from that movie. That's all I'm going to say.
I've not
all
seen
right?
Dope. Gonna have to check it out.
We'll move on to the next one. Shout out to League Fits and shout by JoJo for this one. You wanted to talk a little bit about this guy, Jalen Williams. So I found a picture of one of his fits. What do you think of this one, Adam?
I'd love to see him in a Thunder uniform out there on the floor helping that team. Not that it needs it, right? 10-1 without him. No, I mean, are we going to go 3 for 3 kick it? I can't get behind this. This is like, it's hard to tell in the photo, but it feels like the pants have like a bell bottom look to them.
Yeah.
Like they're getting wider and wider as they go on.
Hey, don't disrespect the bell bottoms. I'll wear bell bottoms.
Are bell
next
bottoms
episode.
back?
I'll wear bell bottoms
You
next
don't
episode.
own bell bottoms.
All right, we're going to do it now. Now we got to do it. All right.
Don't own bell
I
bottoms.
mess with this fit, though. I think you're being a little disrespectful. I think this one is nice and clean. He's got the denim
It's clean.
fit.
It's just
Congruent, the
of
glasses.
a different era.
Hey, I like it. All right, what about this? Let's talk about some League Pass games.
All right.
Before we get up out of here. I'll give you mine because you always like for me to go first for whatever reason.
I've got mine picked out. You want me to go first?
Okay, talk to me.
I don't know what yours is, so I hope we don't have the same one.
All right.
Look, tonight there's only 3 games.
Okay.
And then tomorrow you got NBA Cup games.
Yep.
I know the rules. For anyone who doesn't know, League Pass games mean like you need League Pass. They're not on ESPN or
don't be
Prime
cheating like
Video or
Travis
something.
be, yeah.
I made that mistake once before. So I'm looking. This doesn't appear to be available anywhere else. This is a League Pass game. I'm going to Saturday night.
Oh, I think we're going with the same game. Just give it to me.
Nuggets Wolves.
Nuggets Wolves. Nuggets Wolves. Yeah.
Yeah, Nuggets. I mean,
Playoff
this is
matchup.
Two good teams, playoff matchup. Joker, who has been, I don't know how this dude's getting better every year.
Yeah, DC versus Marvel, Joker versus Ant-Man. Yeah, like we got all the things. Yeah, no, I mean, this is going to be a good game. I'm excited to see these two teams match up. Every time they match up, it's been a feisty one. The playoff matchups have always been good. You know, Ant's going to be in there talking smack. You know that Julius Randle is going to be battling with Aaron Gordon. You know, Jokic is going to do his thing coming off of that 55-point game. I don't know if the Nuggets play another one in between, but they probably do. But, this is just going to be a good matchup, and I'm excited for it.
I'm looking ahead to Monday before we're back on Tuesday, obviously, just to see if there's anything else of interest.
Yeah.
It's kind of a crummy schedule, honestly. You got a lot of I want to say, I think
that, I don't know.
Thunder Pelicans are Monday. Is Zion back for that, or is he still out?
I don't know. I
I know the Pelicans blow, but if Zion's out there, at least there's some, or when the Wolves and Mavericks play, or is Cooper Flagg going to be back? I don't know. There's some different spots, but anyway. Celtics, my expectation is this team's going to start to reel off some wins here, folks. You got the Clippers, and you got a home-and-home with the 1-10 as they stand now, Brooklyn Nets. So, Ountae, win-win-win?
Sure, win-win-win.
This is what happens after
we gotta go, Adam.
Our 40-point win over the Grizzlies. Thanks to Ryan, to Toby, I'm Adam Ountae. Bye.
Peace.